Hey there, my name is Bill Marion, and this is A Nose for Life. In this video, we're taking you with us to Destin, Florida for a quick getaway. A couple of months ago, we released a facts video about the Destin Fort Walton area. That video was a hit, at least for our channel. Fact videos are popular on YouTube as they share specific information that are true or accurate. In this video, I'm sharing the truth about Destin, Florida. Not to get too philosophical, but truth is a broader understanding of reality. Okay, you're right, that's way too deep for this channel. In this video, I'm sharing what we like about the Destin Fort Walton area. You're going to see some amazing late spring, early summer beach scenery, and I'm going to throw in some additional Destin facts for good measure. I'm also going to share some things we learned from the locals around the Destin Fort Walton area. Now, if you're planning or thinking about planning a Destin Fort Walton vacation, or if you're just wanting facts about Destin, that facts video I just mentioned will be extremely helpful. This video is meant to work with that video, but it doesn't matter which video you watch first. If you want to watch that video first, just click the tab in the corner of your screen, and I'll leave a tab at the end of that video that leads back to this one. Don't forget to treat this video like a conversation and leave a comment, and check out the links I've left in the description. So grab your beach towel and sunscreen because we're going back to Destin. On our last trip to Destin, Carolyn and I couldn't take our eyes off the clear emerald green water and the powdery white sand. I talked a lot about it in that facts video. Listen, life is all about the little things. If you don't think sand matters, then you've never walked on sand like this. Like I said in the Destin Facts video, this sand doesn't get hot, and it feels like you're walking on a pillow. On this trip, I actually enjoyed sitting and laying down in the sand. I can even open my eyes underwater while swimming here. I'm not saying you should do that, but I've never been able to open my eyes underwater at any other beach. Yes, there's lots of golf here. Destin has 7 golf courses and another 15 courses within 20 miles of Destin. But other beach vacations offer golf, even better golf. And yes, it's a fact that Destin is one of, if not the best place for saltwater fishing in the U.S. But personally, I've caught more fish at Myrtle Beach, Daytona Beach, Cocoa Beach, and even Jekyll Island than I've caught fishing around Destin or Fort Walton beaches. Saltwater fishing can be a lot like playing the lottery. Prove me wrong in the comments. And yes, dolphins are amazing, and Destin is probably the best place in the United States for dolphin viewing tours. But you can enjoy dolphin tours at other beaches. And Destin's mini golf scene? Well, it's non-existent, people. But none of that matters. And that's why Destin is so impressive. Yes, vacationers far and wide are attracted to Destin because of the unique and mesmerizing beauty of its pristine white sand beaches and the shimmering clarity of its emerald green waters. But what Carolyn and I learned on this trip is that vacationers return to Destin and Fort Walton beaches year after year because this area offers something that few other beach destinations offer: a welcoming atmosphere created by the warmth and friendliness of the locals. We've made videos about other locations and never returned. It's not that we had bad experiences visiting some of those one-time wonders. It's just that the experience wasn't memorable. Destin leaves a lasting impression without any activities, and that's saying something. The truth about Destin and the surrounding area is that it's all about the sand, the water, and the locals. They make a difference. We love Destin, but the truth about Destin is that it suffers some of the same problems as other vacation spots. Destin's popularity as a tourist destination has put pressure on local infrastructure, leading to traffic congestion and difficulty finding parking. Or so I hear. It's actually okay this time of year. Not the traffic, but the parking. But the traffic issue isn't going to be solved anytime soon. On this visit, southbound traffic on the main drag between Fort Walton and Destin was backed up every day. But who cares? Relax, you're at the beach. Compared to traffic at other vacation destinations, it's not that bad. It's nowhere near as dreadful as leaving Tybee Island, Georgia on a Sunday afternoon. Let me just say that there's a reason I've never made a video about Tybee Island. Let me know in the comments if you've ever suffered through that nonsense. But what we couldn't help but to notice is that the cost of accommodations and activities in Destin can be prohibitive for some travelers, particularly families on a budget. And I'll address some of that throughout this video. On the other hand, the cost of dining in the area is actually better than average. The restaurants here serve the freshest seafood you're going to get in the state of Florida. Look it up. And you're not going to spend that much more dining in Destin than you would spend at your local restaurants like Olive Garden or Longhorn. In the Destin Facts video, I talked about Destin's heroic history and its strong sense of community. Located on Destin Harbor, Dewey Destin embodies Destin's history and friendly atmosphere. Now listen, I'm not sponsored, but these folks will tell you all about Destin's amazing history while you enjoy some of the best seafood in the area, perhaps the entire state of Florida. Real quick, Dewey is the great-great-grandson of Leonard Destin, the founder of Destin, Florida. Dewey Destin, along with his wife Rebecca, started this restaurant. Their story is really interesting. I've left a link in the description. While in Destin, we love Dewey's and Beauchamp's the most. And this restaurant also serves as a historical site, and it's kind of a part of your dining experience. Dining along the coast here is better than most dining experiences on popular beaches around the country. You're not just paying for the view. Like I said, it's the best seafood east of the Mississippi. The folks at Dewey's told us about the annual Fleet Blessing, Founders Day, and the fishing rodeo in October. And we were in Destin on the day of the 63rd annual Fleet Blessing. It's one of Destin's oldest traditions. The purpose of the event is to bestow well wishes and blessings upon the vessels of those who make their living from the sea. This has grown to include both fishing charters as well as tourist excursion boats. But our getaway was coming to an end, and we couldn't stay for the event. But it seems really cool, and we wanted to stay. The locals love it. All the boats line up in the harbor, and that alone should be pretty impressive, and then they're blessed. Now, earlier I mentioned the high cost of activities in Destin, but you can make your dollars stretch by knowing what kind of free activities are happening in the area during your visit. And don't forget to be a little creative. I mentioned Crab Island in our Destin Facts video. As summer quickly approaches, notice how Crab Island is beginning to take shape. All the boats are beginning to congregate in that shallow area. And yes, that's a pirate ship. Now, it doesn't cost anything to find a place to sit and watch a pirate ship sail in emerald green water. Where else can you do that? Be sure to check out all of the links in the description for free activities in Destin. And speaking of things that are free, here's a free activity that most of your family will really enjoy. Located just a few minutes outside of Fort Walton, the Air Force Armament Museum is the only museum in the world dedicated to the collection, preservation, and exhibition of artifacts and memorabilia associated with the Air Force armament and its platforms of delivery. There are over 29 different aircraft that have found a home at the Air Force Armament Museum. Inside, there's a 32-minute film about Eglin Air Force Base, and lots of things to see. No advance notice is necessary for groups, but it's best to call ahead. I've left a link in the description. Look, your kids are going to love this place. And did I mention it's free? In the other video, I talked about Eglin Air Force Base, the largest Air Force base in the world. There's also Hurlburt Field, home of the Air Force Special Operations Command and the 1st Special Operations Wing. It's kind of a big deal. And here's something else you can do for free. During the summer peak season, every Thursday night there's a summer fireworks show. It wasn't an option for us on this trip because we were visiting just before the peak season. But the locals even come out and enjoy it. So I guess it's a big deal too. The fireworks are launched from the Destin East Pass and can be seen from various spots along the harbor boardwalk or by walking out onto the Destin Bridge. And honestly, I didn't even know you could do that. In the facts video, I mentioned that Destin and Fort Walton beaches can have slightly cooler temperatures compared to beaches in southern Florida due to their location in the Panhandle region. Tourist websites state this as a fact, and it is, sort of. Let me explain. It's the first week of May, and today it was 82 degrees Fahrenheit, and the water temperature was 72 degrees. But at Cocoa Beach, it was 84 degrees. So, there you go. It was slightly cooler. So yes, Cocoa Beach and other Florida beaches will occasionally be warmer than Destin. But let me help you. If you're from the Midwest, Northeast, or anywhere that experiences 4 distinct seasons, don't be fooled. It gets really hot here in the summer. And it's that direct sunshine heat. It may have only been 82 degrees, but it felt a lot hotter. So whether it's 96 degrees or 92 degrees, you're going to sweat walking across a parking lot. So when you visit websites that claim it's cooler in Destin, well, it's true, but it's not valuable information when deciding between Destin and another beach destination. But I guess it is something to think about if planning a visit during the winter. in that facts video, I talked a lot about why the water is so clear and why it has an emerald green hue. Here's the truth. I was right, but I didn't understand how many factors are involved. It's more dynamic than I realized. Now, do you remember what I was saying about the friendly locals around Destin? Well, one of them explained that the clear emerald green water can change from day to day for countless reasons. Don't get me wrong, it's always beautiful and very unique, but it was different this time, and it can be different every time one visits the area. Destin and Fort Walton's beaches typically have calm and gentle waves compared to some other coastal areas, even during periods of higher wave activity. The Gulf of Mexico's warm and shallow waters contribute to this characteristic, creating a more tranquil swimming and recreational environment for visitors. And that's what we were expecting. But on this trip, we had lots of waves. Make no mistake, Destin is a tourist town, but it feels, well, local. Believe it or not, it's what Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, Tennessee felt like 30 plus years ago. If you remember those days up in the Smokies, let me know in the comments. Now, don't get me wrong, sometimes a locally owned and operated vibe is a bad thing. You know, it kind of makes you feel unwelcomed by locals who see tourists as a necessary evil. But folks around Destin fully embrace tourists, and not just tourist dollars. Everywhere we visited, the locals were extremely friendly and went out of their way to be of service. The truth about Destin is that the locals are warm, knowledgeable, and they love where they live, and they'll tell you all about it too. Carolyn and I have visited tourist destinations all over the U.S., and we've never experienced so many locals who love talking about where they live and sharing their experiences. It really is all about the sand, water, and the people. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, here are some other videos you'll enjoy. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. My name is Bill Marion, and this is A Nose for Life.